Hello and welcome. I'm Michael Levitt, president of the American Society for Jewish Music. First, for its co-sponsorship in making this event possible, I want to thank the Leo Baeck Institute, which is devoted to the history of German-speaking Jewry and whose collection contains many documents, letters, and other interesting materials related to Hans Eisler and Bertolt Brecht. Also, I want to thank the YIVO Institute for Jewish Research, our partner here at the Center for Jewish History, for its ongoing support. Tonight, in her Hans Eisler Cabaret, Soprano Karyn Levitt performs Eric Bentley's English versions of the songs of Hans Eisler and Bertolt Brecht, one of the 20th century's great songwriting teams. Karyn Levitt is the performer of English of the Eisler-Brecht repertoire of our time. Her close working relationship with her mentor, Brecht, translator and friend Eric Bentley, gave her the opportunity to consult with a contemporary witness and the source of the acclaimed translations to excite the next generation with Hans Eisler's music and Bertolt Brecht's lyrics. In the 1930s, the Austro-German composer Hans Eisler, Eisler's music was banned by the Nazis as degenerate. A contemporary of Kurt Weill and Brecht's favorite collaborator, Eisler was a student of Arnold Schoenberg, whose life and music we explored a few weeks ago in the New York City premiere of the film String Trio, Los Angeles, 1946. Joining Karyn Levitt tonight are her distinguished colleagues, music director Eric Ostling, leading the Hans Eisler Trio, featuring William Schimmel on accordion and Ira Siegel on guitar. And a week from today, on Wednesday, May 15th, we have another cabaret on Hollywood and Weimar, songs from the golden age of film. As you may know, many of Hollywood's greatest film scores were written by emigre and exiled composers who fled Nazi Europe for Southern California. From dusty westerns and sweeping romances to the thrillers of Alfred Hitchcock, this program celebrates the blending of the old world and the new to produce uniquely hybrid sound of Hollywood's golden age. Musical geniuses like Kurt Weill, Erich Korngold, Miklos Rozsa, Dmitri Tiomkin, and Hans Eisler brought from their respective homelands the highest level of culture, which they poured into the American film industry. They blended the music of the old world and the new, creating and inventing the uniquely hybrid sound of Hollywood films. American music benefited as we became the heir to their legacy. Both these cabarets, I'm happy to say, are part of Carnegie Hall's 2023-24 season series, The Fall of the Weimar Republic, Dancing on the Precipice. One final note. Please take this opportunity to silence your cell phones and other devices, as I will do right now. Thank you. And now will you welcome the Hans Eisler Trio.
In the dark times, tell me, will there still get that soldier's wife from the ancient city of Prague. From Prague she got the button shoes, lots of good news, and button shoes. And that is what she got from Prague. And what did she get, that soldier's wife, when the Wehrmacht entered Warsaw? From Warsaw she got a lovely skirt. What fun to flirt in a Polish skirt. That is what she got from Polish Warsaw. And what did she get, that soldier's wife, from Oslo across the Sound? From Oslo she got a collar of fur. It makes quite a stir, a collar of fur. She got one from Oslo across the Sound. Und was bekam der Soldatenweib aus dem reichen Amsterdam? Aus Amsterdam bekam sie den Hut, und er steht ihr gut, der holländische Hut. Das bekam sie aus Amsterdam. And what did she get, that soldier's wife, from Brussels in Belgium's land? From Brussels she got the Belgian lace. She got a whole case of Belgian lace. That is what she got from Belgium's land. And what did she get, that soldier's wife, from Paris, city of light? She got the gown with the silken sheen, the girls green and the silken sheen. And that is what she got from Paris. Und was bekam der Soldatenweib aus dem lieblichen Tripolis? Aus Tripolis bekam sie das Kettchen, das Amulettchen am Kopf mit Kettchen. Das bekam sie aus Tripolis. What did she get, that soldier's wife, from the wilds of Russia? From Russia she got the widow's veil, the widow's veil for his funeral. That's what she got from Russia.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Willkommen, meine Damen und Herren. Welcome to Will There Still Be Singing, a Hans Eisler Cabaret. Wer ist dieser Hans Eisler? Who is this Hans Eisler? American audiences are very familiar with Kurt Weill, but we are less familiar with Hans Eisler. In fact, it was my own love of Kurt Weill's songs which led me to Hans Eisler. In the summer of 2011, I wrote a letter to the world authority on Bertolt Brecht, Eric Bentley, asking for his advice on a show I intended to create of Kurt Weill songs. And you can imagine my surprise and thrill when, to my letter, the then 94-year-old Eric Bentley answered me in an email that singers are too focused on Kurt Weill. And his suggestion for me was to instead focus on Hans Eisler. And so I had to ask, wer ist Hans Eisler? Hans Eisler was one of the great modernist composers of the 20th century, an Austro-German composer of large orchestral works, much chamber music, film scores, and songs. At age 20, he won the Art Prize of Vienna for one of his early compositions, and soon after moved to Berlin. In 1930, he became friends with Bertolt Brecht, and they started working together on theater songs for Brecht's plays. At 17, I went to market, the market where what's sold is love. They tell me it was good experience. Much was bad, God knows, but that's the way it goes. Sometimes I told them just where they got off. God be praised, it all will soon be over. Love included and the heartache and fear. Where are the tears of Friday evening? Where are the snows of yesteryear? Yes, you learn to play that market with increased facility, selling your embraces wholesale, though your feelings may slowly fade away. If you hand them out too generously, Gott sei Dank geht alles schnell vorüber, auch die Liebe und der Kummer sogar. Wo sind die Tränen von gestern Abend? Wo ist der Schnee vom vergangenen Jahr? Study as you may that market, haggle as you also may. Selling kisses and for peanuts, easy that it ain't. Still, I've no complaint. Though we don't get younger day by day, God be praised, it all will soon be over. Love included and the heartache and fear. Where are the tears of Friday evening? Where are the snows of yesteryear? Wo sind die Tränen von gestern Abend? Wo ist der Schnee vom vergangenen Jahr? Eisler. Eisler was Brecht's favorite collaborator for two reasons: his ability to set words to music perfectly and his concision. There are no extra notes in an Eisler composition, and many of his songs end as abruptly as they begin, with no outro and no intro. And they both were Marxists. And both artists believed that Marxism was the answer to society's evils and the antidote to Hitler. Hans Eisler was one of Arnold Schoenberg's three famous pupils, including Berg and Webern, and the first to compose in his teacher's 12-tone method. Of course, the stringent purist Schoenberg never expected his student Hans to write songs that blended atonality with jazz.
I do not know that spring is looming in so much night. I did not sit for so long. I did not think it, but now I notice that the lilac's blooming.
Goes by so quickly, and I think it's hard to get on a first listen. So I'd like to sing it for you again, this time in the original German by Karl Kraus. Eisler broke with Schoenberg. Eisler broke with Schoenberg because while Schoenberg believed in art for art's sake, Hans Eisler was becoming increasingly political, and he believed that music must be useful, and he started embracing his inner communist and started writing agit-prop songs to inspire revolution.
Am Grunde der Moldau wandern die Steine, es liegen 3 Kaiser begraben in Prag. Das Große bleibt groß nicht und klein nicht das Kleine. Die Nacht hat 12 Stunden, dann kommt schon der Tag, dann kommt schon der Tag. bed of the Moldau, the pebbles are stirring. In Prague 3 emperors lie dead. The big will not stay big, the little won't stay little. The black night is 12 hours, the red dawn is red, the red dawn is red. The world's always changing, however enormous the plans of the mighty. When dawn comes are through, and though they run wild like hens with no heads on, the world's always changing. There's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do. On the bed of the Moldau, the pebbles are stirring. In Prague 3 emperors lie dead. The big will not stay big, the little won't stay little. The black night has 12 hours, the red dawn is red, the red dawn is red. In the early 1930s, Hans Eisler twice visited the Soviet Union. Gee, I wonder why he later fell out of favor in America. Vorwärts und nicht vergessen, worin unsere Stärke besteht. Beim Hungern und beim Essen, vorwärts nicht vergessen, die Solidarität. Peoples of this earth, rise up now, for this earth is now your due. It shall be the great provider, and it shall provide for you. Forward, and let's remember what our strength always was and shall be. In famine or in plenty, forward, and remember it's solidarity. Black and white and brown and yellow, and the rule of sword and gun. For when once we raise our voices, all the people shall be one. Forward, and ask the question, what our strength concretely is worth. In famine and in plenty, whose tomorrow is tomorrow, and whose earth is the Entartete Kunst, or degenerate art. That was how Hitler branded the art of Jewish and communist artists. Music by Jewish composers was also branded as entartete. Truly, I live in a time of darkness. And his friends who are in trouble. They tell me eat and drink, be glad that you can. But how can I eat and drink when I take from the hungry all that I am eating, and my glass of water is needed by the thirsty? And yet I drink and I eat. How I wish I were wise. One can read in ancient volumes what wise means. To keep out of the strife of this world, to pass the time without anxiety, not to fulfill one's wishes, but forget them, all of which I cannot do. Truly, I live in a time of darkness. Ach, man sagt des roten Mondes Anblick auf dem Wasser macht die Mädchen schwach, und man spricht von eines Mannes Schönheit, der ein Weib verfiel, dass ich nicht lach, wo ich Liebe sah und schwache Knie, was beim Anblick von Marie. Und das ist sehr bemerkenswert. Gute Mädchen lieben nie einen Herrn, der nichts verzehrt. Doch sie können innig lieben, wenn man ihnen was verehrt. Und der Grund ist, Geld macht sinnlich, wie uns die Erfahrung lehrt. Und der Grund ist, Geld macht sinnlich, wie uns die Erfahrung lehrt. They say the sight of moonlight on the water makes the maiden heart go pit-a-pat. And they talk about a man's appearance knocking women flat. Don't give me that. And a girl's knees only sag at the sight of a money bag. Let me ask you a question, Mac. If Jack never spends a penny, then how can Jill love Jack? But if Jack spends lots on Jill, then how can Jill not love him back? For there's nothing quite like money as an aphrodisiac. there's nothing quite like money as an aphrodisiac. You'll love the sight of moonlight on the water when you've got some money in your purse. What's the use of man's or woman's beauty if you're mean and simply won't disperse? And a girl's knees only sag at the sight of a money bag. Let me ask you a question, Mac. Full of young love's ecstasy, how should Jill and how should Jack make love on empty stomachs? It cannot be done. Alack, foods are central heat, and money is our aphrodisiac. Foods are central heat, and money is our aphrodisiac.
Oh, Eric, you don't mind if I give this to my favorite charity, do you? No, I'm just kidding. But let me take this opportunity to introduce you to my band. Please welcome my fantastic music director, Eric Ostling. Please welcome my fantastic accordionist, William Schimmel. And please welcome my fantastic guitarist, Ira Siegel. The Hans Eisler Trio. My son, I gave you the jack boots, and the brown shirt came from me. But had I known what I know, I'd have hanged myself. I'd have hanged myself from a tree. And when I saw your arm, son, raised high in the Hitler salute, I did not know those arms, son, would wither, would wither, would wither at the root. And then I saw you march off, son, following in Hitler's train. And I did not know those marches would never come back, would never come back again. I saw you wear your brown shirt and did not complain. Fortunately, Hans Eisler was in Vienna on that day in 1933 when Hitler became Chancellor of Germany, and he was able to get out. He had a longer route to America than many of his colleagues, and his crisscross journey took him from Prague to London, to Paris, to Denmark, where he continued working with Bertolt Brecht, back to London, to Spain, and then in 1938, Hans Eisler moved to New York City and taught for several months at the New School. And he also taught for several months in Mexico. In 1942, Hans Eisler moved to Hollywood along with many of his compatriots, his teachers Schoenberg, Brecht, Theodor Adorno, Thomas Mann, Max Reinhardt, Peter Lorre, Otto Klemperer. Can you imagine all these great artists, musicians, composers, conductors, opera singers, filmmakers, directors, all descending on Hollywood? These two songs of exile are from Eisler's Hollywood Songbook.
Early on this Easter day, an impetuous snowstorm swept through the island. Between the budding hedges lay snow. My little son dragged me out to see a little cherry tree by the house wall. From my writing table, where I was writing verse in which I pointed at the men who were preparing a war which must destroy this island and my people and this continent of Europe and my family and me. Silently we placed a sack on the freezing tree.
This next song is An den kleinen Radioapparat, or To the Little Radio.
Du kleiner Kasten, den ich flüchtend trug, dass meine Lampen mir auch nicht zerbrennen. Besorgt vom Haus zum Schiff, vom Schiff zum Zug, dass meine Feinde weiter zu mir sprechen. An meinem Lager und zu meiner Pein, der letzte Nacht saß ich in der Früh. Von ihren Segen und von meiner Mühe versprich mir nicht auf einmal stumm zu sein.
I don't think there's ever been a love song composed to a radio before. And it's so pretty. I'd like to sing it for you again. This time an English version by Eric Bentley.
A little box I carried in my flight, so as not to break the radio tubes inside me. From house to boat, from boat to train held tight, so that my enemies could still address
cavorting with Stravinsky and the rest, he started working in Hollywood, composing film scores like Deadline at Dawn, None But the Lonely Heart, and Hangmen Also Die. He also wrote the book Composing for the Films with Theodore Adorno, and 2 of his film scores were nominated for the Oscar. And just imagine coming from war-torn Europe to this Californian paradise of palm trees, the Pacific Palisades overlooking the coast, the sun, Malibu, the jacaranda flowers.
A sprinkling of gardens, a sprinkling to encourage green. Wissen der Dusken Bäume, gib mehr als genug. Gib mehr, gib mehr, gib mehr als genug. Und vergiss auch nicht das Strauchwerk, auch das beerenlose Licht, das und überseh nicht zwischen den Blumen das Unkraut, das auch Durst hat. Noch gieße nur den frischen Rasen oder den versenkten nur, auch den nackten Boden erfrische du, erfrische du.
In 1947, Hans Eisler was brought before the House Un-American Activities Committee on charges of being a communist ringleader in Hollywood. He had the dubious privilege of being the first Hollywood artist to be blacklisted. And unfortunately, if we remember Hans Eisler at all, we remember him for his expulsion from America. Before boarding his flight to Prague, Eisler read this statement. I leave this country not without bitterness and infuriation. I could well understand it when in 1933 the Hitler bandits put a price on my head and drove me out. They were the evil of the period. I was proud at being driven out. But I feel heartbroken over being driven out of this beautiful country in this ridiculous way. I take with me the image of the real American people whom I love. We shall now hear Eric Ostling's original composition based on 3 Eisler marching songs.
I see it now? Do I see it now? While those tremendous mountains of smoke are that sit there in the fire over there. Native town, how will you receive me now? Look at the squadrons that precede me, deadly swarms of bombers herald my return. White-hot furnaces announce your son. There's a poplar tree on Karlsplatz in the ruined city of Berlin. And when people walk across the Karlsplatz, they all see its friendly green. 1946 in winter, men were freezing, wood was very rare. Many trees were cut down on Karlsplatz, and that was their final year. But the poplar tree on Karlsplatz, when spring comes around, is green and gay. It's thanks to you, inhabitants of Karlsplatz, that we see it still today. We can see it still today.
In 1949, Hans Eisler resumed work with Bertolt Brecht in East Berlin at the now iconic Berliner Ensemble. And he composed the East German national anthem.
Auferstanden aus Ruinen und der Zukunft zugewandt, lass uns dir zum Guten dienen, Deutschland, einig Vaterland. Alte Not gilt es zu zwingen, und wir zwingen sie vereint, denn es wird uns doch gelingen, dass die Sonne schön wie nie über Deutschland scheint, über Deutschland
Eisler's music does have a tendency toward darkness, as you've heard. But I feel the very fact of his continuing to compose in such dark and fearful times, no matter where he was, in Nazi Germany, in exile, banished from America, deeply depressed in East Berlin under the very repressive communist regime, the very party he believed in and strove to help, is a testament to his humanity and courage. Hans Eisler, a man without a country, a great artist, making music in terrible times. His light shines in the darkness. In the dark times, tell me, will there still be singing? Yes, there will be singing. Yes, about the dark times. There will be singing. Yes, about the dark times. You who will be borne up by the flood in which we went down, remember when you speak of our weakness, the dark time which you have escaped, changing our country more often than our shoes. We walked through the wars of the classes, despairing when we saw injustice and no rebellion. Yet this we did know, even hatred of baseness distorts the features, even anger at injustice makes the voice hoarse. Yet we, alas, who wish to prepare the ground for friendliness, could not ourselves be friendly. But you, when things reach the point where man is no longer a wolf to man, remember us with forbearance.
Bravo. Thank you.